Hello, Wild Kingdom. I'm Brady Bogen, and this is the Wildlife Zoo Network. We're calling it that, and this is Kristy Morcom. I call her the Queen of the Jungle. Kristy is the media director here, media director of relations.
Director of Media Relations here at Wildlife World Zoo, Aquarium, and Safari Park.
And we wanted to bring the wildlife to you. The goal of these programs every week, we want to take a look at some animals, talk about the background, and actually get to interact with them. And this is our channel mascot here. We're calling our program Wild Things, and this is our Wild Things mascot, Waylon, the warthog, who, this is Waylon's mother right here, Kristy. Tell us about Waylon and how long you guys have been mother and son.
Yeah, so this is my handsome son, Waylon. He's about 4 years old. I've raised him since he was about a week old. So we have an amazing relationship, and he's incredible. So warthogs are one of the most misunderstood animals in the animal kingdom. People don't give them the respect they deserve. And Waylon's here so you guys can see just how fabulous warthogs are. And we're gonna bust all those misconceptions.
I can tell you the first time Waylon that I saw him come out of a minivan, which you don't see too often, it's the head on a warthog is so much bigger than a standard pig. But the similarities they have, I've noticed, is they're all eating machines. Waylon is constantly eating and foraging around, and it's so much fun just to walk around the wildlife zoo with him. And one of the things that we're going to do with Waylon is we're going to have Waylon's Wacky Trivia. We're going to find some people to answer trivia questions, and they win Waylon's Wacky Prize, which is pretty cool. It's going to have a 4-pack of tickets to Wildlife World Zoo and a plush animal that's handpicked out by my daughter Kirby from the gift shop. We got a koozie.
We got a Wildlife World koozie. They're brand new to the gift shop. I actually saw them this morning for the first time, so I'm super excited.
And they're gonna have to answer questions while Waylon stalks around them or does whatever he does, his voodoo that he does. Anyway, I'm glad you joined us. We're gonna talk about some real cool things, and we have access to over 6,000 animals. I love animals, and I'm with the Queen of the Jungle. Hopefully, I can be king of the jungle by the time we're done with this in the next 20 years.
I like it. Let's do it.
Let's do this. You know, I just wanted to point this out. No matter where you are in life, whether you're going to work, you're stuck in traffic, people sometimes are just jerks. We call them pricks. And I wanted you to know that there are some pricks here at the Wildlife World Zoo. These are the pricks at the Wildlife World Zoo. The African crested porcupine. Queen of the Jungle, take it away. Tell us about these pricks.
Well, I think the biggest misconception with African crested porcupines is that they can shoot their pricks. And that's actually not true. That is false. They do have to make contact with something before they'll release them.
So it's a lot like in Arizona, we have the jumping cholla.
Yes.
Which are cactus that people think they jump out. It's the same thing. It kind of brushes off, but it sticks onto you.
Exactly the same thing.
And
same concept.
But at the same time, these are pretty mellow animals, right? It's only when they are being offended that they'll bow up.
Whenever they're being pursued by a predator, they will.
Yes.
They'll bow up, they will stick out all their quills, and they're smart because oftentimes they'll take off running, wait for a predator to chase after them, stop suddenly with their quills out, so the predator runs right into the back of them, ending up with a face full of quills.
You know, that reminds me of the old joke that's the difference between a porcupine and a Porsche. The pricks are on the inside of the Porsche. So our first animal here is our mascot, Waylon the warthog, an incredible creature, and we wanted to talk a little bit more about warthogs and what who are their cousins in the animal kingdom. and kind of some of their behaviors.
Absolutely. So warthogs are so interesting. They're actually the only member of the wild pig family that can live in an environment with little to no water several months out of the year, which is incredible. So these guys get a lot of the water they need from the foods that they eat. And Waylon here's a big boy, but they can actually get a little bit bigger.
Which is a little different, I've noticed, because in the U.S. we have the feral pigs, the feral hogs, and in Arkansas and Texas. But I can remember reading an article on Hogzilla, which was like an 1,100-pound pig. And those, I don't know, American hogs, whether it's, I don't know if they're Berkshire or what the breed is, they just get humongous. Where a warthog has to limit, and that's probably a lot because in order to survive, the bigger might not be better for them in that case.
Right, and these guys really rely on their tusks for self-defense. So they don't have to rely as much on their size. And these tusks can get pretty large. They can get up to a couple feet, they get really big. The bottom tusks are really sharp, and that's what they'll use to...
You warned me about that, and I got to tell you, the first time Waylon comes up and you don't have a nugget for him, the torque on the head of this beast is amazing. And it's pretty dull, but he goes around and it's like your dog nudging you for a treat. He gets right up in there. It's so strong. It's amazing. But what's so much fun, and what we'll be doing with him, is when we walk the zoo grounds, is people's face when they see it. They think at first, oh, here's an interesting looking dog. Next thing you know, the warthog. Now, the one question I was going to tell, if you pet the warthog long enough, do you get warts?
So that is a great question, and I actually get it pretty often, and you do not. So they don't have warts like their name would suggest. Yeah. They actually have little fatty deposits on their face, and the males have really large fatty deposits, and that's what's going to protect them when they're fighting for the women out in the wild, when they're fighting against each other.
Now, what about viruses? Can we pass on, like right now, the coronavirus to animals? Like warthogs, are they susceptible getting something like that?
So you just have to be really careful when dealing with wildlife,
yeah,
and dealing with human interaction, and we make sure that all our animals have all the right vaccines that they need, and they've been through the proper quarantine, so it's nothing you have to worry about in a setting like this, here in a zoological setting.
So what you're saying is we don't have to mask Waylon up, which would be kind of cool. We could put a little face mask on for him. He doesn't get any viruses.
That would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe we should mask him up and just walk through the zoo and see everyone's reaction. Could you imagine?
Oh, hilarious. But what's also intimidating is you don't realize how fast the warthogs are. And when they start to jump, it's very similar to a certain, like I have an American bulldog. And you know them as you're the owner, you're comfortable with them.
Yeah.
But when you see that dog for the first time and it's charging at you, it's intimidating.
It's pretty intimidating. And these guys, when they run, they will put their tail straight up in the air. And it's like a little flag, and it works when they're little piglets and they're all running, following their mom. It helps mom keep track of them. But they get going pretty quickly. And oftentimes, if they're able to run away from a predator, that's what they'll do. However, if they are close to a burrow, they will back into the burrow instead of run into the burrow, so they're not exposing their more vulnerable side, and they can still fight off predators if needed.
Well, I assure you, if you're one of the trivia contestants with Waylon's Wacky Trivia, you won't have to defend yourself. You won't have to defend yourself against Waylon. He'll just be there as we ask the questions. It's all going to be good. So that's a little bit about warthogs. And you're going to see a lot of Waylon each show. I'm looking forward to seeing how people react when we do the trivia contest. Hey everybody, it's Brady and Kristy, and this is Waylon's Wacky Trivia Contest. And I'm excited because this is our first contestant.
Yes.
We have Jeff Foreman. And Jeff, where are you from?
I'm from Gilbert, Arizona.
And what do you do for a living?
I own a restaurant out there called Sushi Brokers.
That's a delicious restaurant, it sounds like. I might have to. I live in Gilbert. Did you know that?
I did know that. I think you've actually been in once or twice.
Busted. Anyway, Jeff, today you get to play for the Waylon prize pack, which has a hippo plush animal in there and some Brady sauce, 2 bottles of Brady sauce, a 4-pack of tickets to the Wildlife World Zoo. Waylon has pulled Kristy away. She'll be back. Don't worry.
I didn't want him to knock the tripod over.
This is the best thing about the Waylon's Wacky Trivia.
It's pretty wacky.
Yeah. So we're gonna get this under control here, and then there's one other thing. If you fail, not that big of a deal. You still will get the Wildlife World Zoo koozie.
How about the hot sauces? That's what I'm in it for.
Sorry, you have to get them.
Okay.
You have to get at least 3 out of 5. Now, on your own. Now there is an option. You have a lifeline, which I will be the lifeline, and then you have ask the audience if you're stumped, and we'll let you take it by then. After that, you're on your own. All right.
All right, deal.
Kristy, take it away.
All right, so the first question, what type of fish is born a male and has the ability to transition to a female if there is a social need? A, clownfish, B, reef shark, C, anglerfish.
Okay, so I have a sushi restaurant, so I better know this one. I don't think we serve them there, but I'm going to go with clownfish.
Good job. Woo!
Nailed it. You know, I was thinking, like, was there a Ron Jeremy fish? Or, I mean, that's such a wild question.
Wrong social setting.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so question number 2. He's got one down. This is exciting.
All right, good job. Okay, question number 2. True or false? The fingerprints of a koala are so indistinguishable from humans that they have been associated and been confused at a crime scene.
I want to know the crime scene that a koala was a part of.
Stealing eucalyptus leaves.
Okay. I'm going to have to go to the audience on this one. I have to
Pull the audience. What do we think,
Okay.
gang? What do you think? Saying true or false? What do you think?
I think true.
You think that koala fingerprints have been mistaken for human fingerprints at a crime scene?
Well, maybe. I know koala fingerprints are smaller than human fingerprints.
Okay,
Oh, maybe they thought it was
She's
a
going
wild
true.
crime.
I'm going to go with the audience. You got to trust the audience.
True?
True.
The answer is true.
True. Two.
Okay.
Man, maybe it's okay.
Good
Here we go
job.
for the
All
win.
right.
Nice.
Question number 3. How long does it take for a sloth to digest its food? A, 16 months, B, 2 years, C, 1 month.
Even a month is a long time, but I'm going to go with 1 month.
Yay! Oh, my gosh!
Unbelievable.
Where did you find this guy?
In the wilderness.
Found me at the zoo.
Well, we got to, for the full deal.
All right.
You won.
Let's keep going. Yeah.
Woo! All right, so
We have 2 more questions. We'll do those. Congratulations.
Well, thank
Here's
you.
your prize
Thank
pack.
you.
Thanks for
Now
coming
this is
out.
for bonus.
yeah.
Yeah, for bonus rounds.
Bonus
yeah.
round.
Bonus
I'll
round.
add a bottle of sauce if you get it right.
Okay. Question number 4, true or false? Nearly 3% of the ice in the Antarctic, in the glaciers, is penguin urine.
Don't you eat that yellow snow.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to go with true just because I want to believe that to be a true thing.
True.
True?
Interesting.
You watch a lot of
would-
National Geographic.
Why would you want that to be true? That you want your glaciers
we
full
need
of
the most
penguin urine?
amount of penguin urine in this world as possible. That means there's lots of penguins.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh my god. Great answer. Okay, last question. True or false? Giraffes have the largest range of vocalizations in the animal kingdom.
I'm going to go with false on that one. Have you heard the monkeys?
You are good.
Man,
False.
he nailed
Giraffes
it.
have no vocal cords. So
None
good
at all.
job. None at all.
Isn't that wild for how
Yeah.
long their neck is?
Right.
But you'd think about it. Imagine how long the vocal cords would have to be.
Oh,
on
and what
it.
kind of noises would come out of
It would be like, I'm picturing like a bass, a stand-up bass.
I'm picturing a camel. Weird camel noises. But yeah, they don't have vocal cords.
don't
Good
have
job.
There we
Woo!
go. Thanks for coming out, everybody, for the trivia.
Yay.
Audience, you're great. All right, that concludes the first episode of Wild Things. We'll be back very soon. Right, Kristy?
Yes. Oh my gosh, so exciting.